This reminds me of something. The peaceful theme, the heavy armored yet agile steps, even the howling wind echoing in my ears. This sound pretty much summed up my gaming experience in the past few years. It all begins in the years of 2011, when From Software dropped the latest trailer of Dark Souls during E3 2011. Even though I had played a lot of games up to that point, I wasn't really in love with games. It was merely an escape from my actual life. But when the theme played when that Capra Demon sat on that guy's face, I instantly knew that was the game. 6 years later, in the years of 2017, the Dark Souls series came to an end. With a shocking yet depressing ending, it left this unforgettable mark not only in the history of dark fantasy genre, but also in many of us. Fast forward to the years of 2019, after releasing Sekiro: Shadow Die Twice back in March, we, as fans of From Software games, has been blessed with an exciting news. An open world RPG based on Norse mythology called The Elden Ring. Before any further detail released in the future, probably this will be a good time for me to talk about how I feel about the whole series. And spoiler alert, why do I love the Soulsborne series? When the original Dark Souls first released, my neighbor and I were sitting in front of the game shop. We even called in my neighbor's brother to help, since the game was rated M for mature. And that's it. Nothing fancy, just two little brats getting hyped for a game. At first, this game didn't feel deep for a little kid like me. What grabs our attention is the customization. From our face to our attributes, from our weapons to how we approach the game, everything can be chosen freely. If you are a sword swing guy like me, you can put some of your points on strength or dexterity. If you are a sorcerer, a pyromancer, and even a cleric, maybe you could put some of your points on intelligence or faith. And if you want to go hybrid, sure, you can do that too. No matter how you want to approach the game, it almost got you covered. You can even switch mid-game, with a little price of course. Different amount of points put into your attributes allows you to use variety of weapons. Different weapons leads to a different playstyle, and different playstyle leads to a completely different experience every time you create a new character. Which is my next point, replayability. To many of us, we value replayability quite highly, since to me, I didn't always buy games nor had the money to do that frequently back then. Souls games has the replayability. Every time we create a new character, we would try to find new builds, use the different weapons, setting challenges for ourselves, and we would have a completely different experience. From Demon Souls to Dark Souls 3, including Bloodborne, there are a lot, I mean a lot of weapons. Although some of them are objectively better or good against some bosses, you can still get through the game if you know the areas and enemies well enough. And that's one of the reasons why I appreciate the game so much. It's not always about the weapons that you are holding or how much you can grind, but the sense of how to face an enemy, learning its moves and try to use what you have to plan against it. Just to name a few, Knight Artorias from Dark Souls 1 taught me not to block so much. The Fume Knight from Dark Souls 2 taught me not to be greedy time and time again. Champion Gundyr slapped me hard until I learned how to parry his attack. The sense of accomplishment and overcoming an obstacles with different stuff kept me playing for a very long time. Bosses. Those were some good memories. The moment you step into a boss arena, saw a cutscene, you felt an immense pressure creeping up on you. Your confidence slowly slipping away while the choral music started building up. Blow after blow, Estus after Estus, you thought you were doing something right. But wait, now he is in half health, he suddenly changes everything, pulling out some new moves from the bag, clapped you hard and turned you into an undead hollow kebab. You know what I'm talking about. Is it the dancer? Is it the Nameless King? Or Lady Maria? Whatever the case may be, we've learned a lot from them. They prepared us from what's ahead, and even more, the way they speak, the way they act, tells us much more about them. Where did they came from? What was the purpose for them being here? Who were they? These details are what I cared about, or else what are the purpose for me playing this game?
A corpse should be left well alone. Oh, I know very well how the secrets beckon so sweetly. Only an honest death will kill you now. Liberate you from your wild curiosity.
Combining with the unique, memorable music for each and every bosses, and yes, even you too, the Witch of Hemwick. Now, listening to the soundtrack of these games become a habit, as if it's me fighting the boss all over again. I must talk about the music, I just have to, right? From Shinsuke Kida's work of Demon Souls, Motoi Sakuraba's work of art in Dark Souls 1 joined with Yuka Kitamura, sticking with her all the way to the ends of Dark Souls 3, and of course can't forget those masterpieces in Bloodborne. Composed by all those talented masters, Ryan Ammon, Tsukasa Saito, Yuka Kitamura, Nobuyoshi Suzuki, Chris Velasco, and Michael Wanamaker. Every theme composed by them captured the essence of the environment, the feeling, or the message that they want to convey, and of course the souls of the boss, no pun intended. Listen to the theme of Majula while doing your work, listen to the theme of Ludwig the Accursed while playing other games just to get the adrenaline pumping.
All along. My true mentor, my guiding moonlight.
And even listening to Gurmans or the theme of Aldia, Scholar of the Third Sin, when you are feeling down once in a while. In my opinion, music and soundtracks are essential for a game to tell a story besides using words, and I sincerely recommend you to listen to some of the soundtrack and maybe you will find something that you love. And finally, the story. Shout out to the Reddit boys and content creators like Barty Vidya and Terramantis. They did a tremendous job of reading through item descriptions, cutscenes, dialogues, hidden events, and tried to compile a cohesive or complete story about different components in the game. NPCs, events, bosses, and even normal enemies. 12 years old me did not understand the story at all. The only thing I knew is to link the fire knot, not even knowing why. Fast forward to 2017 after what happened in the Ring City. After what I've read and thought about the story of the Soulsborne series, I found myself going deeper and deeper into a hole full of insight and knowledge, just like when Big Hat Logan went insane in the Crystal Archive. While a normal game has a story going hand in hand with the game itself, player and audience get to know about this whole story just by watching the cutscenes. The Soulsborne series provide a somewhat strange yet logical way to provide information to the audience, as listed above. Cutscenes, character questlines, dialogues, item descriptions, and even the environment, such as a statue in the yard, has its own role on the whole timeline itself. To compile a story in Dark Souls or even try to write a decent timeline is quite a difficult work to do, since not everything was set in stone, the information provided was fragmented, just like being a historian rewriting a history of the Souls. This gives us a lot of space to interpret how the story would go or should go. Players like us argued a lot on forums how the story should be, with us providing different pieces to fit in our perspective. But of course, none of us was completely right, nor did we know what the story was all about, since the director, Miyazaki, didn't tell us anything, and when even Namco offered 10k for those who tells the best story, you know the story is messed up. But that's the fun part. We as players all try together to unveil the story that is Soulsborne. Through countless reading and digging, we found out that the main character was not alone. There were a lot more to the series. Characters that you met were also a traveler just like you. They have their own purpose, own life. You guys met in the story by luck. You may have helped some of them to complete their task, you may have killed them, led them to their doom, or you may never heard from them ever again because you failed to do the task and you have to do it all over again in the next life. Sorry, look at you will be missed. It is surprising to see there was so much work put into those characters and even the bosses of this game. All of them were memorable, though not their name, but you will definitely remember some of the characters in the game. Solera Pastora, the true brother of the series, incandescent yet like a moth to the flame. Siegmeyer and Sigurd of Katarina, knight of Katarina that will always fight by your side. Patches, the hyena, the spider, the trustworthy, the unbreakable, always kicked me down a hole, tricked me and wanted to strip those treasure out of my corpse, yet I never really hated him. Seeing him offer his only help at world's end makes me realize how serious the situation was, showing the true meaning of the game and what we are fighting for.
Every age, it seems, is tainted by the greed of men. Rubbish to one such as I, devoid of all worldly wants. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way we are. I'll stick you in my prayers. A fine dark soul to you.
From Boletaria to Lordran, from Drangleic, Yarnum to Lothric, we have journeyed through a lot of places, fought a lot of monsters. Although time seems to have stuck in place, but fire fades and rekindles, kingdom rises and falls, we've all been through it. After breaking Princess Filianor's egg, we somehow travel forward in time. There is nothing left, not even the abyss. You faced the final boss. You thought he was the bad guy after all, but wait, you knew him. He was just seeking the dark souls of men to complete his lady's painting, to create a new world. After a couple rounds of fight, he slowly descends into madness. There is no going back. You killed him, then and there. You brought back the pigment to his lady.
Hey, what's up?
My thanks, Ashen One. With this will I paint a world. Please tell me thy name. I would name this painting after thee.
I mean, I have no name,
I see.
just like everyone else.
We are much alike. Then I will name this painting Ash. It will be a cold, dark, and very gentle place. And one day, it will make someone a goodly home. I wonder when Uncle Gale intends his return. I hope the new painting will be to him a gentle home.
We didn't know what that painted world would be like, or what the future holds. But this game, this series, truly created something that I didn't even know was possible in the first place. Everything will come to an end, just like the game, and just like the whole series.
The first flame quickly fades. Darkness will shortly settle. But one day, tiny flames will dance across the darkness. Like embers linked by Lord's Pass.
See you guys in Elden Ring. Until next time.
Ashen One, hearest thou my voice still?